a friend. Sponsored in part by Dr. Giddings, Liberty Hearing Center, Metropolitan Hospital, and United Beverage Center. Scan the QR code to get tickets now.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to have you with us. It's Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. I am J.R. Giddings. Welcome to the Reset Talk Show. This show changes the conversation. This platform will help to reset and reshape the nation and the world. Here's a preview of the top stories we are following. In the midst of the ceasefire between the US and Iran, there was a phone conversation between Donald Trump and Netanyahu that had a lot of expletives. Is there a rift here? Our panel of experts will weigh in. Plus, we are talking about the 2026 Reset Awards. Also, the GOAT, Serena Williams, has returned to tennis. And the New York Knicks are in the NBA Finals for the first time in 27 years. All of this and more coming up. You're listening to and watching the Reset Talk Show. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Whatever your audiology needs are, we are here to help. Our full-time staff includes doctors of audiology, graduate student clinicians. We screen for, diagnose, and treat hearing loss in a diverse population of all ages. We work closely with primary care physicians, otolaryngologists, and other healthcare providers to ensure that we are treating the whole person, not just their hearing.
When it was time for my baby's vaccinations, I wasn't sure what to do. There was so much conflicting information, I didn't know what was real. But then I found out that since the 90s, childhood vaccines have saved over 1 million lives and prevented more than 500 million illnesses in children.
And like me, many parents worry. We all want to do what's best for our babies. So I went to my baby's doctor and I asked a lot of questions.
And got the answers I needed. I choose to vaccinate. Ask questions, get answers, vaccinate.
Drinking alcohol increases the risk of several types of cancer, including breast, colon, and throat cancer. Drinking less can lower your risk. You deserve to know the truth about alcohol and cancer. Get the facts. Visit nyc.gov/alcohol.
Hi, I'm Rabbi Eli Cohen, and I'm excited to introduce you to the new location of the Crown Heights Jewish Community Council Social Service Center. This is where you can continue to get help for seniors with Medicare, Social Security, any problems with SCREE applications and renewals. We have our health navigator who can provide you with health insurance for your family. We have Medicaid and SNAP applications, of course, and our well-known free business counseling for small businesses. So we're looking forward to greeting you at our new location. We're at the corner of Kingston Avenue and Lefferts Avenue in Brooklyn. Call me, Rabbi Eli Cohen, 718-771-9000, and we're here to serve you.
The 2026 Reset Awards coming Saturday, June 6th to Dumbo, Brooklyn. Nominees, artists, and red carpet. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Sponsored in part by Dr. Giddings, Liberty Hearing Center, Metropolitan Hospital, and United Beverage Center. Scan the QR code to get tickets now.
Welcome back. This is the Reset Talk Show. We have a great show for you this week. Let's begin with the explosive conversation between Trump and Netanyahu amidst the stalled ceasefire between US and Iran. Let's welcome in our panel of experts. We have Dr. Giddings with us this morning, Pastor Straker, Rabbi Cohen, and the rest of our panel. Good morning, Rabbi Cohen. Good morning, Dr. Giddings.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so
Morning.
let's lead with you, Dr. Giddings. What's your takeaway from this explosive conversation between Trump and Netanyahu?
Good morning, J.R. Rabbi. Good morning, listeners. Good to be here today. Oh my goodness, this is just an ongoing saga. It's so exhausting and frustrating to even wrap your head around some of this stuff. But here Trump is basically just saying the quiet part out loud, and like you said, everybody hates Israel as part of it, and everybody hates you now. And basically, he also said, you'd be in prison if it weren't for me. And that's the saying the loud part, the quiet part out loud. I mean, he is going to be brought up in charges in his country when this war is over. So he is prolonging the war, and he got the president to help him do so. Even Marco Rubio said that in the beginning of all of this. He said, it's because of Israel, that we went into this war in the first place. So, right now, he's in dire political straits. He's upset because of Israel's escalation of the Lebanon peace. And that's where Netanyahu comes in. He is escalating that. And Trump is here trying to make a deal. They're saying there's a ceasefire, but they're firing against each other, both of them. So who knows what's going on? Who knows where this is going to end? As I said in the first place last week, the JCPOA was good. He ripped it up. He could have built on that, because that's what administrations do. They build on what the previous administration has done. So he ripped it up. So now we're starting from where we were, and we're not going to get anything better than the JCPOA right now. Right now, we can't even open the strait. There's tricklings of ships going through, but it's not what's needed for the global economy. So right now, the first part of this is to open the strait. We're having difficulties doing that. So talking about the nuclear piece, that's going to be a whole other thing, which is going to take months, etc. And we should have not bombed, because that's just like basically to win in a battle, not the war. And so you can't bomb yourself out of anything like this. You have to strategize. And that was the biggest problem in the first place. We had no strategy. We had no end game. And here we are right now, worse than where we were 3 months ago. And now we're heading into the 4th month of this war, and there's no end in sight. And basically, he thinks that, he acts like a petulant 2-year-old. He says, I don't care for everything. When there's an argument, I don't care if the negotiations are ended. I don't care about the American people. We know that. You care about lining your pockets. That's all you care about. The obvious blatant stuff that he does, all the stock trades. It's almost 4,000 different stock trades. And according to our president, our previous president, Obama, our president is not supposed to have side hustles. So anyway, going back to this is just an extension of his, tantrum that he has on a daily basis. So what else can we say? It's like, okay, what's going to happen again tomorrow? So those are some of my thoughts.
Thank you for your perspective, Dr. Giddings. Welcome in, Rabbi Cohen. How are you this morning?
Thank God, I'm well. And
Rabbi,
good to be here.
Rabbi, the one thing here, right? When you hear this type of conversation between two world leaders, and you hear the expletives and you hear the nasty remarks, would you call this a rift?
So it's actually interesting because Miranda Devine, who's a reporter with the New York Post, asked Trump this question yesterday. She has a very good podcast. It's called Pod Forced One. She has a 40-minute interview with the president. And she asked him, it's all reported that you said all these things. And he said, yeah, I said it. No, I'm not angry at him. We're just, I'm just making my will understood. And there's a lot behind the scenes that's going on. There's also a very, very interesting event that took place yesterday that also sheds a lot of light on this whole question. And that is Marco Rubio's testimony in front of the Senate committee that oversees foreign affairs. And Rubio explained a lot of this stuff in great detail. And I really recommend, if anyone wants to really understand what's happening, go on to YouTube and look at Rubio's testimony. It's about 2 hours. He was in front of he was very friendly. Pretty much all the senators, Democrat and Republican, were pretty supportive of what he had to say, or pretty accepting of what he had to say, with a few exceptions. And I think that it really tells us what's going on over here. That America's in a very good position right now. There is no, with the exception of obviously some economic difficulties that it's brought, small in comparison to the big picture, but it really looks that Trump is not going to give in on the main point, which is a nuclear Iran. That's not going to happen, and he's been very clear about it.
Rabbi Cohen, I know you want us to listen to Rubio. When you hear two world leaders having a conversation and it gets nasty and it's in the eye of the public, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking, first of all, well, he explained it. He said, look, I got very firm, but we're not in a bad situation. He's a great leader. By the way, the thing about prolonging the war to keep himself out of jail is just not true, because Netanyahu he's in the middle of a trial. He has a trial every 2 or 3 days, whenever he can fit time in. There's testimony and cross-testimony and cross-examination. He's being tried on 3 very pretty flimsy charges in Israel. And I don't think that's even though Trump said, I kept you out of jail, it's actually not true. He asked the president of Israel to pardon Netanyahu, and the president said, no, the trial is going to continue. So it's not so simple as people make it out. There's a lot going on. I think America's in a pretty good position right now. There's no, the blockade is working and is really pushing Iran. And I think maybe we will see the Straits open soon. And I think a lot of this, as I said, was explained by Rubio's comments on the Hill yesterday. And you really get a big picture of the negotiations and what's going on. As far as Lebanon, just very quickly. So there are 3 parties in the Lebanon conflict, right? There's the Israeli government, there's the Lebanese government, and there's Hezbollah. Hezbollah is bought and paid for by Iran. They are a small terrorist army that is dominating the southern region of Lebanon and is shooting rockets, and has been shooting rockets directly into Israel every day for the last few months. And every day people are running to their bunkers. They've got some very sophisticated drones that they've been shooting at Israel. And Israel feels that just catching these drones as they come in is not enough. They have to actually go on the offensive to remove the threat. And, what Trump said is, I'm going to speak directly. And he has actually talks set up. And this is one of the things Rubio mentioned yesterday. There are talks set up between the Lebanese government and the Israeli government to try and stop Hezbollah from doing their damage. So that if it works out, it's very positive. The problem is that there are Hezbollah members in the Lebanese government who are blocking this. And also, the Lebanese government is very weak. They don't have an army that's as strong as the Hezbollah. And that's really where the situation is. It's a very complex situation. And Netanyahu agreed that we're only going to go defensive and not offensive for a while, just to see if a peace deal can be worked out.
Well, Rabbi Cohen, I understand your perspective, but when you're on the world stage and you have the President of the United States exposing the Prime Minister of Israel with some of his remarks, it really goes a far way. It opens the eyes of a lot of people. A lot of people might not have known that Netanyahu might be imprisoned after this war is over. And just to listen to that type of rhetoric, and we know who Trump is, I think it spells disaster. Dr. Giddings, you could jump back in on this,
Yes,
because I'm sure
yes, I actually
I'm
want to
sure
address.
you're opposed to some of the things that the rabbi is saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the bottom line is we won't be in this position negotiating with Israel and Lebanon or whatever talks going on if we didn't get into this war in the first place. And as far as Rubio, him coming on there and saying something like the war is over, really? It's over? Come on. That is so ridiculous. That's one of the main things he said. The war is over. Tell that to the men and women serving in the military out there experiencing all these missiles and drones, etc. Tell that to the American people who are suffering every day with the fallout from the war. Tell it to the farmers, okay, whose fertilizer prices are up. Therefore, it trickles down to prices being up in the supermarket, gas prices, etc. Tell that to them. I mean, that statement that he made was so absurd. When they're firing on each other, isn't that war? How is it over? You know, it's not over. The strait is not open. There, the military is guiding ships out of the strait, like I think 70 over weeks. I mean, that's nothing in comparison to the amount of ships that need to be out. So the war is not over. That's an absurd statement that he made, and we wouldn't be in this position had we not torn up the JCPOA. And so we're just back, we're worse than where we were before we started all this bombing. So basically, that's my response to what Rabbi has said.
Yeah. That's
very.
I think I hear your point. The bottom line is the JCPOA. Some provisions of it were actually scheduled to expire this year. So even if had the deal been held and had they not cheated, it still wouldn't have helped that much. It was, I think, everyone agrees, a bad deal. And I think now we're in a much better position as far as Iran cannot threaten.
As I said before, Rabbi, as I said before, every deal is not perfect. He could have expounded upon the JCPOA. That's how administrations work. They work on what the previous administration has done and they build on it. He did not. He tore it up and started over from the beginning. So he put himself even in a worse position. He's creating all of his own problems. All he does is shoots himself in the foot, like, metaphorically. He created this problem. He could have built on that. No one said that the JCPOA was perfect, but you could build on that. And it's not over yet. It expires, but it didn't. And then he started this because of Netanyahu. Let's be clear about that. Even Rubio said that in the beginning.
Dr. Giddings, Rabbi Cohen, is there an unraveling here with Donald Trump? Things are starting to go left a little bit. Recently a federal judge came out and firmly said that his name has to come off of the Kennedy Center. He's not happy about that. But when you see all of these things happening, when you see the unraveling happening with Donald Trump, what are your thoughts?
Well, I would say that he had a couple of setbacks in the last week or two, but he had some pretty strong wins too. So it's look, I'm not giving up on him yet. I think the midterms will be a big, will make a big difference if. People like I watched, by the way, the debate between Dan Goldman and Brad Lander for the Congress race in New York, in Brooklyn, and they want to beat up on Trump. If Congress takes over the midterms, there will be another impeachment. So the stakes are very high. So let's see what happens. And but the jury's out. It's early days still. It's September. Newt Gingrich says if gas prices are down by Labor Day, then Trump wins in the fall. If gas prices are still high by Labor Day, we may have a problem. So that's I don't know if that's true or not, but that's one pundit's evaluation.
Rabbi, I think that when we talk about where we are in this country, when we talk about President Trump, when we look at his ratings, it speaks volumes. We are seeing people pulling back, showing that they're not on board with half of what he's doing, and then all of these things are happening. The unraveling is starting to take place. How concerned are you about that?
Well, there's a lot of good stuff too. The economy's going well, and they're working very hard on reducing drug prices. That was a big announcement that came this week that I think is going very well. I think that other areas of foreign policy that they've done a really good job in Azerbaijan and Armenia, in the Western Hemisphere, Venezuela, holding the line on Cuba and the communist infiltration over there. There's a lot of positive and there's some negatives, but overall, I think I don't think the scorecard is that bad. Obviously, a lot of people are upset about immigration issues and so on. So there's some negatives, no question about it. But on balance, I don't think you can write an obituary yet for this administration. Not by a long way.
Well, his approval rating is way down. But
it depends who asks. It depends who asks, and it depends who they ask. So that's I don't put too much trust in those. The real poll is the one where people go quietly into the voting booth, and the one where what they ask on the street, people say what they think people want to hear. They don't necessarily answer what they're really feeling.
Rabbi Cohen, we're different lens on Donald Trump. But we have to take a commercial break. When we come back from this commercial break, we will get Dr. Giddings' take, and then we will talk about the other federal judge who just halted the slush fund for President Obama and his President Trump and his allies. We'll take a commercial break, and we will be right back.
When it was time for my baby's vaccinations, I wasn't sure what to do. There was so much conflicting information, I didn't know what was real. But then I found out that since the 90s, childhood vaccines have saved over 1 million lives and prevented more than 500 million illnesses in children.
And like me, many parents worry. We all want to do what's best for our babies. So I went to my baby's doctor and I asked a lot of questions.
And got the answers I needed. I choose to vaccinate. Ask questions, get answers, vaccinate.
Whatever your audiology needs are, we are here to help. Our full-time staff includes doctors of audiology, graduate student clinicians. We screen for, diagnose, and treat hearing loss in a diverse population of all ages. We work closely with primary care physicians, otolaryngologists, and other healthcare providers to ensure that we are treating the whole person, not just their hearing.
At Roger Victor Archibald Civil Rights and Personal Injury Attorneys, we are family.
No matter what the case is, we go fight it. If you're looking for justice, you will get it. Roger will treat you like you is VIP. Come join you with the team, cause in this love from we treat you like family. Winning millions for clients since 1991. Family. Working together here as one, yeah. Family. So call us today at 718-237-1111 or visit our website at BrooklynATTY.com. From the shores of the Caribbean to the United States Courthouse, where clients are treated like people and not simply cases. Call us if you have a case involving police brutality, medical malpractice, construction accidents, automobile accidents, and all other personal injuries.
This is Attorney Roger Archibald. Call me today at 718-237-1111. We are family.
Drinking alcohol increases the risk of several types of cancer, including breast, colon, and throat cancer. Drinking less can lower your risk. You deserve to know the truth about alcohol and cancer. Get the facts. Visit nyc.gov/alcohol.
The 2026 Reset Awards coming Saturday, June 6th to Dumbo, Brooklyn. Nominees, artists, and red carpet. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Sponsored in part by Dr. Giddings, Liberty Hearing Center, Metropolitan Hospital, and United Beverage Center. Scan the QR code to get tickets now.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the Reset Talk Show. We are celebrating Reset Week. We have the Reset Awards coming up this Saturday. But audience, tell a friend to tell a friend. We have Rabbi Cohen with us this morning. We have Dr. Giddings, and joining us soon is political strategist Deidre Rashid. Dr. Giddings, your thoughts on the federal judge who ordered Trump's name be removed from the Kennedy Center. What's your takeaway there?
I think that all of this is coming to a head, okay? Everything that he's done. He wants his name and likeness on everything. The federal buildings, coins, he wants to have his face on the $250 bill for the birthday of the country. I mean, it is so ridiculous. He wants to have some kind of relevance or permanency, and he probably won't have it. Monuments are typically named to presidents when they're out of office, not while they're in office. The same thing about putting his likeness on a bill. That is most times done after, presidents are out of office, for sure, after they've passed away, likely. So the fact that they finally come out, these things take a lot of time, right? When you sue, if he's doing something untoward, it'll take time to get there. So finally, they've said, you've got 2 weeks to remove your name. And frankly, I'm like, he doesn't respect judges anyway. So who knows whether or not he is going to remove his name. So that's another situation. And basically, they stopped the whole renovation process also. I mean, he was trying to renovate the whole place. Artists were let go. All this has been happening. And so hopefully a lot of these things will be reversed. He said he's following the orders, but who knows? We just have to wait and see what occurs, because they typically just go against anything that's said. They do exactly what they want to do, and they keep doing it. And it's almost like, daring everyone to say, okay, make me. So we'll see what goes on going forward. But hopefully, yes. Kennedy served in the military, right? It's his memorial. Donald Trump, he averted the military, I think, 5 different times, bone spurs, etc. So he just wants to align himself with these previous presidents. That's his thing. He wants to have some kind of relevance. So we'll see. We just have to wait and see what comes up with this whole recommendation to remove your name and stop the renovation and leave things alone.
Dr. Giddings, could we bring in the good rabbi as we talk about where we are in the country, where we are with President Trump? We see an unraveling here. Okay, next, let's just talk about the other federal judge, okay, who blocked the Department of Justice from setting out that $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. This fund was designed to compensate Donald Trump's allies and supporters. are not a bloc. What do you say to that, Rabbi? I mean, we see something happening here. You're on mute.
Good. Now I'm on. I hit the wrong button. Okay, so yeah, I think a lot of these things are sideshows. I think when it comes down to it, one thing about this president is that he gets a lot done in a day. He's able to focus on a lot of different issues. He moves quickly from one to the other. He works very long hours, sends way too many true social messages late at night. So there's a lot of energy and a lot of things going on. Of course, a few things that have been set back. Some of those setbacks are just temporary injunctions that get overturned by the next judge. I think the Kennedy Center is one that he's probably going to leave alone for a while. But I don't think this is really the main focus of what's happening. If you think about it, the Republican agenda has a lot of it has been accomplished in pretty good form. Remember the amazing tax refunds that everybody got in the filing season. They say 62 million Americans benefited from the new tax breaks that came in after the big bill last year, and the average refund was up about $3,000 that people got back on the taxes. So people, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag economically. There's a lot of the economy is booming. A setback here, a setback there. We discussed this already. The bottom line of that fund was that Trump won. There were a lot of people close to Trump who were very, very badly hurt, unjustifiably. They were prosecuted. Some of them were jailed. Some of them were bankrupted because with legal fees for really their sin was that they were associated with Trump in some way. And I think that Trump wants to make good on that. Those people might be able to file claims. This was a way of giving them a path to that. Also, a lot of people who were treated very badly, who very minor civil disobedience kind of actions, and they were forced to take very difficult plea deals and so on. So there is some controversy. Looks like, by the way, the fund that you mentioned, it's actually the Republicans that are stopping him. They said they're not going to pass now the reconciliation bill unless that fund is dropped. So sometimes Republicans push back on Trump too. It's not just all coming from judges and Democrats. But let's see what happens.
But I'm glad you said that. Audience, tell a friend to tell a friend. We have our political strategist on board with us. Welcome in, Deidre Rashid. But Rabbi, when you call this a sideshow, a federal judge blocking the Department of Justice from having Donald Trump pay his allies and insurrectionists, we can't say that it's a sideshow. We're talking about taxpayers' dollars.
Well, did you hear about? Okay, so I'll answer that very simply and quickly. There were two people called Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, right? They were texting messages from inside the FBI of how they were going to stop Donald Trump from the insurance policy. They were going to do something to stop Trump from being able to govern in the first presidency. They were sued and they were prosecuted. They were fired, I think, actually, from the FBI. I don't even think they were prosecuted. And they sued the federal government after the administration changed. And Biden's Justice Department gave them a very beautiful settlement for being fired. They were clearly doing political business on FBI time. They were clearly doing things that were very illegal. But because the administration changed, it was a friendly administration. They made a settlement with them on something which really was not deserved. So this is something that's not a new thing that only Trump does or only Republicans do. This is a way that government, a lot of environmental agencies sue environmental organizations sue the federal government, and Democratic governments have given them very generous settlements to their funds, to their slush funds, to fund climate change issues and things like that, which are political issues. So this is nothing new. It's done on both sides, and I don't think that it's really that's significant in the big picture of things. And as I said, right now it's actually the Republicans who are finally stopping this fund when they said that they're not going to pass the reconciliation bill to fund DHS and those other departments that haven't been funded until that idea is dropped. But they think it's a political hot potato also, and so looks like a lot of people agree.
Political hot potato, Rabbi Cohen. Dr. Giddings, we're talking about the slush fund that the federal judge just blocked, $1.8 billion. Rabbi is saying it's a sideshow, but we're talking about taxpayers' dollars. How do you respond to that?
First of all, this wasn't a settlement. This wasn't a case. The case was dismissed, and it was dismissed before the judge saw the addendum of this fund and the exemption from audits in perpetuity. Okay, first of all, Donald Trump was suing Donald Trump. It's like Trump v. Trump. He was on both sides of the V, and you don't do that. And the case that he was bringing up, it was passed. It was what do you call it? Amnesty or whatever. It was past that. So anyway, they dismissed the case before the judge even saw what they were writing as the settlement. So they tried to do a little okey doke, underhand type thing, as usual with this government. And the DOJ, who was, by the way, his personal attorney was one of the attorneys on all of this. So this, number one, is unconstitutional. There's the appropriations clause in the First Amendment that says only Congress can appropriate funds. So he was trying to get this slush fund or anti-weaponization fund. These are all the things they're calling them. And, everybody saw that, this was crazy. The Republicans are now coming up just because, it looks bad. This is the first time they're getting a spine. Okay. Ever since, they've been primaried, like Tillis and Massey and, all of them, Cornyn, all of them, they've been primaried by him. So now they're developing a spine. They're all of a sudden developing a spine because they're seeing that what he's doing is coming to fruition and everybody's coming against him. That's the reason. Okay. So number one, it's unconstitutional. Number two, it wasn't a settlement. And number three, they're backing off. And by the way, Todd Blanche in front of Congress yesterday said, yeah, we're backing off, but we're not going to put it in writing. So that's funny already, right? That's kind of fishy. You don't want to put it in writing. It's in writing that there is the fund, but you're backing off on the fund, but you don't want to put it in writing. So, even Trump said, we're backing off of the fund for now. So you really cannot believe these people. And I think the Dems are trying to get it banned out, put a ban on this entire thing. It's just a big mess. But however, they want to keep the exemption from the audits of the IRS in perpetuity. They want to keep that part. So, the 35 judges that wrote the order to have the judge that did not see this entire thing to reopen the case, that's why she did that. She's like, let's look at this. We're going to reopen it. And then I think Deidre can explain this. There's some Rule 11 that she can go to investigate this entire process because it's really, really very fishy. So this is how this all went down. So basically, we'll just have to see what happens because, as I said, it is unconstitutional. It's illegal to get these kind of funds. And then the other part about the exemption from audits in perpetuity. So that's my thoughts on that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Giddings. Audience, if you're just joining us, we're having a conversation around a federal judge just blocked the Department of Justice from setting up a $1.8 billion slush fund, which entails Donald Trump being able to compensate his allies and supporters. We see this through different lens simply because we're talking about taxpayers' dollars. Deidre, Rabbi, thought
Oh, look at Rabbi's back. I missed
that.
you. I thought you got tired of our banter together.
No, no, no.
Yes.
As long as we're respectful to each other, I'm happy to join.
Well,
You know,
it's always
we're-
depending on what that word means with you all. Uh, let me say, as long as it continues to mean honesty, which honesty is not what that fund was about. That fund was about Donald Trump using the United States office of presidency for private grievances. It was deplorable that he has taken away health care, taken away food from children, he has taken away benefits from veterans, and he now decided that on top of him destroying the East Wing, and on top of him doing monstrosity of things to the historical nature of the White House, we have a UFC thing on the White House. And then he was going to do a slush fund to just give it away. But to what Dr. Giddings said, when you deal with something, Rule 11 is an agreement between attorneys. That's what it means in court. It's an agreement between attorneys to refrain. He got away from this because Republicans could not defend it. They cannot defend it. They're too close to their elections, and they're seeing where Trump's loyalty to Trump means nothing. He will turn on you. He will eviscerate you. He will destroy your career. It does not matter what you do for him. You could be John Cornyn and vote with him 98% of the time, and he will still put an X on your back. So we are now seeing Republicans who are finally getting their cojones together and actually standing up to this president. But what I don't think we're talking about is that in that same document of the slush fund, there was also a portion of that that said that Donald Trump's family would be shielded from any tax liability for the rest of the time, he and his family, because someone leaked his taxes. My God, today, if we just did that with the other way around for every time Donald Trump leaks something out, what a world this would be. Um, Listen, he is doing for himself. It is the biggest amount of self-dealing that we have seen of any American president. He is what we would call corruption. I'm sure in the dictionary they have replaced whatever picture they have by corruption with his name, right? When it comes to him going to China and taking his family members and all the people, or whether it came to him going out and taking when he did kidnap Venezuela and taking all of the oil companies, whatever you want to list, Donald Trump has lined his pockets and those of his allies to such a degree that I don't even know what we're doing here anymore. He has made himself into this king-like figure. So I look forward to hearing what we're going to do in this matter.
Rabbi, Deidre just outlined a lot of things that the American people stand by. And on the other side, you're saying that there's so many good things that President Trump has done for this country. So how would you respond to Deidre?
Well, I think, look, it's that there, like I said, it's a mixed bag. There's some positive, some negative in every administration. But if you think about the major accomplishments, and again, every single person in America, 62 million Americans, regular, ordinary people, including all the seniors and all the people who work overtime and all the people who get tips as a significant part of their pay, went home with bigger paychecks this tax season. Got bigger refunds this tax season, and I get a bigger paycheck since then. So, there is good and there's bad. Unfortunately, the media focuses mostly on the bad. But I just want to pick up on the last point because I think this is very illustrative. There's this idea of TDS, that Trump can do no good. They call it Trump derangement syndrome, and that is Venezuela. Venezuela was a people that was captive to a dictatorship. And bit by bit, since Trump brought Maduro to justice, the people of Venezuela have been doing much better. People are able to travel to Venezuela. The government is cooperating. The terrible prison was closed
So who's
down.
going to rescue us, Rabbi? Who's going to come and take Trump away and give us someone? Because we feel like we're being held
I love
hostage.
it.
So
I
who's
like it.
going to rescue us
Oh my
while
gosh.
you're just letting
Deirdre,
him
you get
go in and
okay.
kidnap countries, and he just goes and shows up and decides that that country's not doing what it should do, so he's going to pop up and take it, like when he was going to pop up and take Cuba, and then he's going to pop up and take Greenway. So when does this stop? When do we start
Greenland.
building our nation
Oh,
and
I love
stop
it.
building other people's nations? Tell me who's going to rescue us from this hellhole.
I love it. That was a great line. I have to say that, but really, honestly, the people of Venezuela are extremely happy because finally, instead of all the oil money being stolen from them, it's been put in
Told
funds
you
that
they
are
was happy.
being audited. No, don't interrupt. It's being
Okay.
audited, and it's going to the benefit of the Venezuelan people instead of going to the few people that run the country. And I don't know if the same thing's going to happen. Marco Rubio spoke yesterday about Cuba, and he was saying that Cuba is run by a mafia that runs the entire country, and all the money of the country is being stolen by them. And America would like to help out there also. They're not going to go in and capture anybody, but they definitely would like to help the Cubans improve their lives. So it's there. In every administration, there is positive and negative, and I think that this an issue like the Trump Kennedy Center that we spoke about earlier, or even the White House. Let's see. I really would love to see a. Remember, Trump says about the White House that the ballroom that he's building, he's never going to use it. It's going to be the next president and the one after that are going to have use of that beautiful space to host events. So there's positive and negative in everything, and I think that we need to just look at the issue first before we look about who's doing it. If we look at who's doing it, we're always going to come down on one side or the other. But if we look first at what the issue is and what the results are, then we can have a better discussion about where there's good and where there's bad, what we agree with, what we don't agree with, and we can have a respectful and a productive discussion.
I think we're having a great discourse,
No,
Rabbi
we
Cohen.
are. I think that, but that's the right way to go.
Discourse, but the thing is, when we talk about Venezuela and we talk about Cuba, what about us here in the U.S.? Okay, I mean, who is lining his pockets? I think when we talk about lining pockets, we have to look at the wealth of Donald Trump and his immediate family since he's been in office. So we can't look at all the countries and talk about what's going on there, and then we have our challenges right here in the U.S. Could you strengthen that for me, Deidre? Deidre, can you hear me? I don't think Deidre heard me. Dr. Giddings.
Okay, can you hear me?
Now,
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
I did not hear what you just said.
Okay, so basically, piggybacking on Rabbi Cohen, he stated that the U.S. Would come to the rescue of Venezuela and Cuba.
And they did not come to the rescue. Rescue is always, anytime you have your captor being the one who's declaring that you've been rescued, that should be a great indication that you're not being rescued. Anytime you have a people who didn't ask the U.S. to come in and rescue them, then you should, that's a big indicator. This whole thing that you know better for people than what they know for themselves is foolishness. And that is how both Israel and the U.S. have carried on in these last few days. And now Trump is out there cussing out Netanyahu because he wants out, and now figuring out he can't get out because now he's held hostage to Israel in a war that he doesn't want to be in any longer and doesn't know how to get out of. But this is what happens when you start letting other countries run the U.S. And so, and this is then the U.S. believes that they can just run around and take people's countries away from them because, hey, you have problems. Here's a news flash, Rabbi and Trump. We got problems here you all haven't solved, and we'd like you to start at home. How about that? We'd like to start at the homelessness. We like to talk about that problem and the homelessness. We like to talk about women dying in health procedures. We like to talk about the health care. We'd like to talk about the educational system being broke apart part by part. We like to talk about the wealth transfer from the Department of Education and public education to charter and private and corporate entities. We like to talk about things that affect us here in the US. And personally, I'd like to stop talking about people who've been fighting since before Jesus. They're going to continue fighting. They like fighting. They stay in a state of fighting. We don't. And so I just want to say when it comes to Venezuela, when it comes to Cuba, it's just another thing we're starting. Like, look, right now, Israel decided they're going to go in and own parts of Gaza. And then wonder why, when Trump walks the heck out of that White House and you're the most hated part in the Middle East, why no one is going to come to your rescue again while you're eradicating what people and how people feel about supporting these type of excursions.
Deidre, well said. I think you're speaking for a lot of people, and I'm so happy that Rabbi is here because he could unpack it from Israel's standpoint. How do you respond to Deidre's statement about, quite frankly, she's tired of all this fighting that has been going on before the beginning of time? How would you respond to that?
Well, we spoke about it a little earlier. The situation it's not Gaza, it's Lebanon, where the main situation is right now that Trump and Netanyahu was speaking about. And the issue there is very simple, that since they had a ceasefire, which was agreed between the Lebanese government and the Israeli government, the two governments of the two sides of the border, but Hezbollah is a terrorist Iran subsidiary that is still wreaking havoc and shooting drones at Israeli civilians, ordinary people in the northern part of Israel. And Israel has had to push them back away from their border so that they can't shoot at little kids in kindergarten and mothers taking their children to the grocery and so on and so forth. So that's really what's going on over there. Now, what Netanyahu wanted to do in order to stop that shooting into Israel was to attack the Dahiyas neighborhood, which is the Hezbollah stronghold in the capital of Beirut. And Trump told him, "Don't do it. We're going to figure out something." And he got the Lebanese government to agree again, which they already agreed once, that they would rein in Hezbollah. So we have to know the facts of the situation before we comment. And as far as Venezuela is concerned, by the way, I just took a quick peek at the beginning of Maduro's capture. 90% of the Venezuelan people were happy. Since then, they're of course not happy that we didn't do complete regime change, so the popularity went down a little, but still the Venezuelan people are very, very happy that remember, they had a non-democratic election, and the person they elected for was pushed out of the country. So that's I think a positive thing. And as to your point, Deidre, about what I see, Deidre lost us, but to Deidre's point about, America first and thinking about America before we think of South America, don't forget that Venezuela was a major source of drugs into America. Venezuela was a major source of letting out their criminals from their jails and sending them to America. And Venezuela and Cuba are the main spy centers where Russia and China use in this side of the world to monitor what's going on in the United States and to plan activities against us. So I think this is, from all sides, a very, very positive thing. And we'll see what the results are going to be. But I think in the end, history will be very kind to what we've done in that part of the world.
Rabbi Cohen, I would like you to, respond to Deidre and a lot of political figures out there who would complain about being tired of this war that's being fought in the Middle East between Israel and some of the neighboring countries, and you hear them say, "Listen, this fight has been going on since before the beginning of time." How do you respond to that when you hear people saying, "I am tired of the fighting in the Middle East. It's none of our
Well,
business. This is what has been happening before the beginning of time."
well, okay. I mean, there have been wars since the beginning of time. That's true. But if the in Israel today, remember that you have 9 million Jews approximately. Many of them who were thrown out of Arab countries, some who came from Europe after the Holocaust, and some who've lived in Israel forever. And there's no one more tired of war than the Israeli people. And if nobody wants that every 18-year-old has to go serve 3 years in the army after they finish high school before they can go to college. But there is no choice because it's survival. Because the Iran says clearly death to Israel. The Hezbollah, Gazans, you saw what they did. They invaded Israel and raped and beheaded children and raped women in a couple of years ago. And Israel was attacked in 1973. Israel was about to be attacked in 1967. Israel was attacked in 1956. There have been multiple. I've been in Israel a few times when they've had rockets incoming from Gaza since Israel left Gaza in 2005. So it's when you live in a part of the world where everything is decided by the sword. If you don't have a sword, you're dead. And that's the situation of Israel. And there's no one more tired of it than the Israeli people. But they're very resilient, and in spite of have been fighting wars for their survival for the last since 1948 is how many years? 50 plus 52 plus 26, 78 years that Israel is fighting for its survival, but they still have managed to build up a tremendous economy, and now they're making peace deals with their Arab neighbors, and I think eventually things will improve. And we're great believers. We believe in redemption. We believe in the coming world of peace. So it's going to be all good eventually. But until we get to that point, if you drop your gun, I think Golda Meir said it. If all the Arab nations put down their guns, there will be peace. If Israel put down their guns, there would be no Israel. So that's the way that's unfortunately the neighborhood that Israel is living in, and we have no choice.
Rabbi, thanks for the explanation. But when you sit outside of Israel, when you're from a different part of the world, and a lot of people just don't understand the history there, including myself, it is bothersome to wake up every day and see the disturbance and the bombings, and when does it stop? So when Deidre says she's tired of it, that's echoed by a lot of people, not only across the country but across the world.
Right, that's true. But this was definitely Golda Meir. She said, we'd rather have your condemnation than your sympathy after we lose, another bombing attack or another. So, sometimes that's the way the Israelis look at it. Remember, I'm right here in America. I'm an American. I've never lived in Israel. I have family members who live there. I'm born in England. But I feel all Jews around the world feel the closeness to our brothers and sisters who live in Israel, our cousins who live in Israel, and so on. And I think we have to understand they're living in a very, very hostile part of the world, and survival is unfortunately it's literally survival. It's literally survival. It's if you don't have a gun, you're dead, and that's the way it is.
Dr. Giddings, your take?
Yes. First of all, the president ran on no foreign wars. Yet we're, in Venezuela. Speaking of Venezuela, They may be happy that Maduro is gone, but their cost of living is high and they have a lot of economic situation going on there. So they're not completely happy. Okay. Now he ran a no foreign wars, but he wants to go there. Now he's talking about Cuba and he's in Iran. I mean, what's going on? He ran on no foreign wars. He also ran on making the cost of living better, but he's made it worse. And since this war, most Americans, the average is $400 to $750, they're spending out of their pockets. No one wants to spend their extra money, fueling, this war. I mean, of course, him and his administration and his billionaire tech people, etc., they can afford it. The regular, constituent American person cannot. I mean, think about it. $450 to $750 spent. It's not nothing, but to our president, it's peanuts, of course, because he's lining his pockets with billions of dollars. He's got all this crypto stuff going on, all these different, stock trades. I think the last count was 3,700. He's lining his pockets, and maybe he should, spend some of this money to help the American people. The SNAP benefits, the healthcare subsidies. We are talking about the American people that are suffering through this entire thing. And as opposed to all this waste, fraud, and abuse going on with the ballroom and the arch and the reflecting pool and all of this stuff. All he talks about is himself, no one else. Now the UFC cages on the White House lawn, everything is defaced. There's construction going on the East Wing. He demolished the East Wing, and that was the First Lady's place. I could see what he thinks about his First Lady. So I mean, all of this has just added up to frustration and exhaustion on the American people. It's nothing for him. He calls this peanuts. He doesn't care about the American people's finances, none of that. But that's what the American people care about. A lot of these American people, they're not focusing on all this day-to-day stuff happening. They're focusing on their life, on living and getting through to the next day. So that's the most important part right
now. Dr. Giddings, I got to say one thing. Just listening to you and Deidre and Rabbi, it really gives perspective to what's going on in America and how we assess it and how we're affected and how different groups of people are affected. So, I think that the discourse is pretty good. I hope we didn't lose Rabbi Cohen. I think the discourse is pretty good. But we definitely have to continue with these conversations as we go forward. But we'll take another commercial break. And when we come back, we will have the good Rabbi back with us. We will have Deidre back with us. And we will definitely talk about the Reset Awards that's coming up on Saturday, June 6th. We still have to talk about the GOAT, Serena Williams, returning to tennis. And of course, the New York Knicks are in the NBA Finals for the first time in 27 years. We'll take a commercial break and we will be right back.
Whatever your audiology needs are, we are here to help. Our full-time staff includes doctors of audiology, graduate student clinicians. We screen for, diagnose, and treat hearing loss in a diverse population of all ages. We work closely with primary care physicians, otolaryngologists, and other healthcare providers to ensure that we are treating the whole person, not just their hearing.
When it was time for my baby's vaccinations, I wasn't sure what to do. There was so much conflicting information. I didn't know what was real. But then I found out that since the 90s, childhood vaccines have saved over 1 million lives and prevented more than 500 million illnesses in children.
And like me, many parents worry. We all want to do what's best for our babies. So I went to my baby's doctor and I asked a lot of questions.
And got the answers I needed. I choose to vaccinate. Ask questions, get answers, vaccinate.
Drinking alcohol increases the risk of several types of cancer, including breast, colon, and throat cancer. Drinking less can lower your risk. You deserve to know the truth about alcohol and cancer. Get the facts. Visit nyc.gov/alcohol.
Hi, I'm Rabbi Eli Cohen, and I'm excited to introduce you to the new location of the Crown Heights Jewish Community Council Social Service Center. This is where you can continue to get help for seniors with Medicare, Social Security, any problems with screen applications and renewals. We have our health navigator who can provide you with health insurance for your family. We have Medicaid and SNAP applications, of course, and our well-known free business counseling for small businesses. So we're looking forward to greeting you at our new location. We're at the corner of Kingston Avenue and Lefferts Avenue in Brooklyn. Call me, Rabbi Eli Cohen, 718-771-9000, and we're here to serve you.
The 2026 Reset Awards coming Saturday, June 6th to Dumbo, Brooklyn. Nominees, artists, and red carpet. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Sponsored in part by Dr. Giddings, Liberty Hearing Center, Metropolitan Hospital, and United Beverage Center. Scan the QR code to get tickets now.
Welcome back. This is the Reset Talk Show. We're at the top of this second hour, and there's so many good things happening this week. There are so many good things happening in the world, and we're going to focus on some of those things. And we're going to start with the 5th Annual Reset Awards that's coming up Saturday night, June 6th in Dumbo, Brooklyn. This event gives the audience a chance to meet and greet Deidre Rashid, who will be in the building, Donatella, who will be in the building, Pastor Straker, who will be there, Rabbi Cohen, who will be there. So when we talk about diversity, we're talking about what we represent as New York. Okay, we are the melting pot. And when you come to an event, you're supposed to be able to identify with what your community represents. So I'd like to welcome in our panel as we talk a little bit about the Reset Awards coming up this Saturday in downtown Brooklyn. You know, it's so important that we have the QR code up here. It's so important that you scan the QR code and purchase your last minute tickets to come to this event. Everything is all inclusive. We have an amazing cocktail reception where you would get cocktails, mocktails, you name it, and lots of appetizers. Then we go into dinner and awards, and followed by after party from 10 to midnight. Now, I think there's some noise in your background, Donatella. Yes, thank you. So here we are once again. We're asking you to tell a friend to support the Reset Awards this Saturday night, and also share the invite. So Donatella, you haven't been on for the morning, and you've joined the show when we're going to talk about what our audience could look forward to when they come to the Reset Awards on Saturday evening. Your thoughts?
Good morning. So first, let me apologize for the noise in the background. As you know, we are approaching voting season. So I'm actually sitting in one of our local assembly member's office, trying to see how I can galvanize the community in that perspective. But when I think about the Reset Awards, of course, I'm taking back to my first experience, which was receiving an award last year, and the amazingly handsome and beautiful and profoundly intelligent members that attended. Not to mention, it really was overwhelming to me. Um, the diversity, which in the diversity of the people who attended, which I think is exactly what you're saying. That one room on that one night exemplifies what New York City and what Brooklyn is all about. And the fact that people fly in from other cities, other states, other countries is absolutely amazing. Was my first time meeting my guardian angel, Dr. Giddings, in person and seeing her beautiful gown. And you're with some of the finest members of our elected officials, small business owners. And then there's the diversity in the age. So there were young people, more senior, beautifully posed people. And it's just a great place to be, not to mention if you haven't scanned and purchased your ticket this year. I scanned and purchased mine during one of the on air shows that we had a month or so ago. You also want to walk with your business card. Now, don't come there and harass people, but that is a room to be in, whether it is a business, uh, cultural, entertainment, religious, just everybody's in one place. And the food was very good. So let's not forget that. Music, food, entertaining, every sense that you have will be fulfilled. You get to hug a few people and get there early so you can do the red carpet.
Thank you for that, Donatella. Once again, I would say that when we talk about the Reset Awards, we're talking about a beautiful, diverse event where you get a chance to meet and greet people who could affect your lives positively. When you talk about the menu, we have an amazing menu. And why I want to stress that is that a lot of people will go to cocktail receptions or events, and you know you don't get what you expect. You know, you will get what you expect when you come to the Reset Awards. From the time you step in and you step on the red carpet, and you have the servers serving you your cocktails, your wine, and you're able to get different hors d'oeuvres, and it's just a thing to behold. It's just an event to behold. Dr. Giddings, you're definitely one of the honorees. You know, the panel is so strong, and it's so important that we take care of our contributors. Not only that you're an honoree, okay, you're also a part sponsor. Dr. Giddings, you're big time. And when I say that, I mean that in order for anything to go, in order for anything to grow, resources are important. Can you tell us about your experience and what you're looking forward to this year at the Reset Award?
Yes, everything you both have said is right on point. I agree with everything, echo everything. I mean, it is just so it's such an enlightening event. And considering everything that's going on in the world today, it's just a time and space to just go there and just forget about all that's happening outside those doors. We get a reprieve this night. Actually, see, not only this night, it's from, just preparation for it, because I'm flying in on Friday and everything. I want to just clear my mind of everything, just think about getting there and seeing all the wonderful people, all the panelists, everything, friends, family. It's just like a weekend off from the noise that's going on around us. And I can't wait, because as soon as you enter, there's the red carpet, there's hors d'oeuvres, there's entertainment. I love the violinist that was there last year. You just get to meet and greet everyone looks so amazing. They're dressed up and just want to just have fun and just spend some time just enjoying the moment, enjoying the people, and just taking your mind off of everything else that's going on. And so I totally look forward to this. I get to come to the city, I get to, maybe go to the theater, etc. But my main event is the Reset Awards that night. And, not to mention music, and hopefully we're going to have less long speeches and more dancing. I'm looking forward to that. But I'm honored to be honored, and I believe in this program. I believe in all that it does, and I want to just back you up at 1,000%. So here we go. Let's go. Let's get ready. Let's get there and enjoy.
Well, Dr. Giddings, Donatella, what's important is that everything gets better with time. And I'm asking you, Donatella, I'm asking you, Dr. Giddings, your speech, your acceptance speech cannot be more than a minute, because we have 15 honorees. And if you look at it, that's 15 minutes per person. 15 minutes of 15 people, 15 honorees. And that's what we need to do. We just want to be able to lock it tight so we get more time to connect, more time to laugh, more time to dance, more time to party. As you see, we have Deidre Rashid up there. She'll be definitely attending Saturday night. I want you guys to continue to share this flyer, share the link, and we want to make sure that when you leave the room, you could say, well, I went to the Reset Awards and it was worth my time. That's what's important. So, let me expound, let me elaborate a little bit, and let me show you how unique this event is, okay? You're gonna meet attorneys in the room, okay? You're gonna meet medical contributors from every walk of life, even contributors that aren't being honored will be in the room. But here it is, you walk into a room and you're able to meet with the breast cancer expert, who's also the CMO of Metropolitan. Then you'll be able to meet with your cardio oncologist. And then we also have Dr. Jones that will be in the room. He's one of the leading cardiologists, not only in Brooklyn, but in New York State. And we can go on and on. It's time where you need to meet an attorney that you could feel comfortable talking to. Roger Archibald will be in the room. Melanie Cordes will be in the room. And of course, the new attorney, the young attorney. Okay, we're all about the Gen Zers. Okay, we're talking about Jewel Stewart. He just messaged me this morning. Pretty soon, Jewel will be, and let me read it, an assistant U.S. attorney. Now, he will be in the room Saturday night. So when we talk about people from all walks of life, this is what we're talking about. There is Jewel. He'll be in the room Saturday night. We have our, of course, we have Clear Mona Patterson, or Clear Patterson Mona. You got to put the Patterson before the Mona. She has been in the community for years as a healthcare professional. She's a retired healthcare professional and now an advocate for so many things. She will be in the room. So when we talk about an award presentation, okay, it's a mix of every type of professional that you can think about. So, tell a friend to tell a friend. You don't want to miss this event come Saturday night. Of course, Pastor Straker will be there. I want to make sure that I cover everyone because we want the audience to know that this is one of the few times that you get a chance to meet people from your community. So I see we have Lisa Leodni Nolzi up here. I don't want to butcher her name. Now, Lisa has been in the community for over 40 years. I'm talking about decades. And they have the distribution center for beer, wine, and all the things that you need for an event. And she's a part sponsor of this event, and she's happy to be a part of it, and we're happy to have her on board. So what we continue to do, we continue to reach out and lean in and collaborate and move our community forward. Of course, Rabbi Cohen would be in the room. Rabbi Cohen, you will meet some of the people from his community and some of the people that who are not from his community, but it's a mixed bag that we get when we get Rabbi Cohen and Pastor Straker and all of these people in the same room on the one roof. I really feel special, and I really feel honored, and it's a privilege for us to be able to do this and do it at a level where people could really feel like, I've done something for the weekend, and I could walk away from an event and feel like I accomplished something. So that's where we are with having the Reset Awards. It's an annual event. We live for this event, and up here now we have Dr. Srini Vasan, who's our breast cancer expert. She's also the CMO at Metropolitan. So I mean, we're just bringing it to you. We're bringing it to you live, and of course we have our podiatrist. He has been in the community for over 30 years. And, as we age, we have to pay attention to our feet. So Dr. Gordon John will definitely be in the room. And, when you talk about a podiatrist, you feel comfortable when you step into his office. We will continue to say this. We have some of the best minds in the country that come to this platform. We have some of the best minds that you could meet with and get a clear understanding of your health benefits. So when you talk about a health check, we're talking about some of the contributors. Now we have Dr. Wayne Paul Basil. He's an anesthetist, and basically, when you go to the hospital and you're gonna have any kind of surgery, this is the professional that would meet you and relieve you of your pain until your surgery is over. I mean, what else can we ask for? When we talk about meeting people, greeting people, okay, now Ms. Saduku, she has partnered with us. She's the supervisor, regional supervisor for Popeyes. And, we do our gift back every year, whereas Popeyes partner with us, and boy, did they come through for us. They had the different type of tenders, fries, chicken sandwiches, and when people partner with the community is so important. So we always want to give people their props. Now, when we talk about diversity, and when we talk about not only in culture but in age, we have our 3-time Olympian in Aaliyah Abrams. Now she's flying in from North Carolina to be here, and it's a privilege to also have these young, vibrant people in the room who will make a difference. You get a chance to take a picture with one of our own, whether she's Guyanese or Caribbean or whatever the case is. It's important that you get a picture with an Olympian, someone that's gone to the last 3 Olympics and represented her country. So I will continue to say, I can't stop saying it, it is an honor and a privilege. Now we have Dr. Sani, a cardio-oncologist. She will be in the room. Once again, look at the diversity. We're talking about cultures now. could we ask for anything more? A cardio-oncologist, okay, when you talk about cardio-oncologists, we're talking about any kind of cancer that you might have, it affects the heart. Okay, so in order for you to get the right treatment, you have to be paired with the right physicians. So I can't say a whole lot more, but I think we have an idea of some of the people that will be in the room. Now, what tops it off? What tops it off on Saturday is who is hosting the event. So we are moving in a direction whereas we have to incorporate the next generation. So what are we doing? Who is hosting the Reset Awards come Saturday night? Okay, we have my daughter who started the podcast with me, who enlightened me about moving from papers to monitors to computers. She is at Howard University, part of the National Honor Society. She will be co-hosting with DeAndre Desir. He's a graduate of Juilliard School of the Arts. I think when we put an event together, we have to put the event together and grow the event. And in order for us to grow, we have to include the next generation. So tell a friend to tell a friend. The Reset Awards coming up Saturday, June 6th in Fun City, Brooklyn. Fun City, Brooklyn, Dumbo. We will take a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking about Serena, the GOAT. And we're also talking about the New York Knicks. We'll take a commercial break and we will be right back.
When it was time for my baby's vaccinations, I wasn't sure what to do. There was so much conflicting information, I didn't know what was real. But then I found out that since the 90s, childhood vaccines have saved over 1 million lives and prevented more than 500 million illnesses in children.
And like me, many parents worry. We all want to do what's best for our babies, so I went to my baby's doctor and I asked a lot of questions.
And got the answers I needed. I choose to vaccinate. Ask questions, get answers, vaccinate.
Whatever your audiology needs are, we are here to help. Our full-time staff includes doctors of audiology, graduate student clinicians. We screen for, diagnose, and treat hearing loss in a diverse population of all ages. We work closely with primary care physicians, otolaryngologists, and other healthcare providers to ensure that we are treating the whole person, not just their hearing.
At Roger Victor Archibald Civil Rights and Personal Injury Attorneys, we are family.
No matter what the case is, we go fight it. If you're looking for justice, you will get it. Roger will treat you like you is VIP. Come join you with the team, cause in this love for we treat you like family. Winning millions for clients since 1991. Family. Working together here as one, yeah. Family. So call us today at 718-237-1111 or visit our website at BrooklynATTY.com. From the shores of the Caribbean to the United States Courthouse, where clients are treated like people and not simply cases. Call us if you have a case involving police brutality, medical malpractice, construction accidents, automobile accidents, and all other personal injuries.
This is attorney Roger Archibald. Call me today at 718-237-1111. We are family.
Drinking alcohol increases the risk of several types of cancer, including breast, colon, and throat cancer. Drinking less can lower your risk. You deserve to know the truth about alcohol and cancer. Get the facts. Visit nyc.gov/alcohol.
The 2026 Reset Awards coming Saturday, June 6th to Dumbo, Brooklyn. Nominees, artists, and red carpet. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Sponsored in part by Dr. Giddings, Liberty Hearing Center, Metropolitan Hospital, and United Beverage Center. Scan the QR code to get tickets now.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the Reset Talk Show. As we close out the segment on the Reset Awards, I must tell you that the cocktails that you will be receiving when you get to the Reset Awards, some of the cocktails will be having an amazing rum called El Dorado, which is the official rum for the Reset Awards. Look up El Dorado. It's one of the best rums across the world. Won quite a few awards. So yes, El Dorado rum. Welcome in, Donatello. Welcome in, Dr. Giddings.
While you were gone, I found my red lipstick and my glasses, and now I can see.
Donatello. So here we are. What do you guys think about some of the honorees that will be being honored on Saturday night, including you, Donatello, before we jump into Serena?
I think that it's an amazing event. It's almost like fellowship, right? I feel like you enter the Reset Awards a little empty and you're able to fill up. And what I loved about my experience last year, people speak to you as if they've known you as long as the brand. And that was the fun part to me. Sitting close to a commissioner. And I guess last year, a very good friend of mine who is from Long Island. And for her, she looked around the room and there's a term we talk about excellence. And there are people with all these fancy acronyms after their name. And yet in that room, we were all kind of as one, you know, and
Absolutely.
and I just think it's going to be amazing. I'm super excited that Dr. Giddings is receiving an award. I think, something we haven't shared on here, and I'm just going to say, you know, the people here wholeheartedly give intellectually, emotionally. And last year, I don't think I've said it, but I was only able to look as beautiful as I did and attend the event directly to Dr. Shelley Ann Giddings' humbleness, right? And so when I think about her and I think about the contributions from the rabbi, I'm super excited to see one of my favorite pastors, Pastor Straker, receive his award. I just think it's going to be a great night. We're going to have a beautiful day for it. And I just can't wait until Sunday.
Thank you. So we're going to stay with you, Donatello.
Okay.
And I think that on the horizon, but Serena Williams is set to return to tennis at the Queen's Club Championships. Quickly, your thoughts on Serena returning to the game?
For me, when you think about tennis, you have to think about Serena Williams. And knowing that I have not had the pleasure to see her play live, I feel like this is a second opportunity, right? So her returning, the internet's on fire. We still don't have to abandon our other loves like Osaka. But yes, the GOAT is returning. There's a commercial that she has streaming where it's simply Serena walking toward the net and her phone is ringing and the audio says, "Oh, so I guess you heard." That is a mic drop, and the internet, Instagram is on fire. Literally, while I'm talking, I'm getting chills. So this time when she returns, I'm going to find a way to see her play.
Thank you, Donatella. Dr. Giddings, the GOAT returns. We're talking about Serena Williams. This is Serena Williams, the athlete of athletes in tennis, in the world of tennis. Your thoughts on her return?
Yes, I am extremely excited. I am like a US Open fan every year. I was just I didn't hear it came out, I think, months ago that she was joining, and then I kept going, okay, what's going on? I haven't heard. And then just literally the other day, the announcement came. But anytime I think of Serena, I think of just her perseverance, her strength, her determination. I mean, not to mention fashion. I mean, she's one of the most fashionable players on the courts. But I mean, 23-time Grand Slam champion. I think she just wants to put an exclamation point on her career. Okay, so she's coming in on the double wild card, and she's partnering with the 19-year-old Victoria Umbuko. She's the Canadian tennis player. So I cannot wait. And this might give her an entry into Wimbledon. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And Wimbledon is soon. But I must mention, the naysayers and the people who are talking about, her coming back. She's coming back after 4 years. If you remember Martina Navratilova, made a return to singles in 2004, the French Open, after an absence of 10 years. And she won Wimbledon at 47 years and 8 months old. She was 47 years old, won the singles match. Then she capped her career by winning the mixed doubles title. And that was in 2006 US Open. And she was the oldest ever major champion at 49 years old and 10 months. So I can't wait for Serena to cap her career with a win somewhere. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm keenly engaged. I'm watching all the games. Too bad Coco didn't make it during this French Open, but I'm looking forward to Wimbledon and the US Open. So go Serena.
Right. And speaking of the US Open, right now there are free tickets available. I have registered, just found out last night, so I'll be sharing that link with you all. There's apparently a fan base where you can get free tickets.
Yeah, okay. So Serena Williams, I just want to cap it off by saying that Serena has transcended the sport of tennis. When you talk about an athlete who has had an amazing impression on so many young women and so many young men of African descent, but not only African descent. Okay, we also have so many Asians that are in the sport now, and when you talk about who do you look up to, you just hear the name Serena Williams. So I believe that everyone is entitled to enjoy the sport or the job that they do, because you never know when your time is coming. So let's not hate on these athletes that live for the sport, that entertain, that makes a difference in our world. It's important. Let's lift them up. And that's where we end with the stuff with Serena coming back. She's she's trying to overshadow these. No, she's not overshadowing. I think she's enhancing. So we move on as I mean, it's that type of weekend where amazing things are happening. The announcement of Serena, okay, the Reset Awards, and without further ado, the New York, the New
Yes.
York. Are you ready for some basketball? The New York Knicks, after 27 years, they're in the finals playing the San Antonio Spurs. By the way, that game is on ABC tonight at with an 8 o'clock tip off. New York City is upside down. I don't know where you will go in New York City and people not talk about the New York Knicks.
Nowhere.
But remember that the New York Knicks was able to defeat the Spurs during the season, and they defeated them handsomely. But here we are. The championship is always different. So we have Samson Goliath here. We have Jalen Brunson, who is the star of the New York Knicks, going up against Wemby, and he is a tall order. He is 7 feet 5 inches tall. So there are so many watch parties for this event. There are no fans like New York fans. This is something that's really gonna put New York in a good place. More so if the Knicks win the championship.
Absolutely.
Coming over to you, Donatella. Your thoughts on the New York Knicks?
Well, like everyone else, and I'll have to say, I'm getting some ribbing from people who like, Donatella, I've never heard you talk about the New York Knicks in your life. You're always talking about the Lakers or Golden State. And that's what's happening right now. Even people like myself, always been a fan of New York Knicks, not a diehard like yourselves or Spike Lee, let's say, but everyone is talking about the Knicks, and we're literally 4 wins away from the first NBA championship since 1973, I believe. And so, one of the biggest things that I hear people talking about is whether or not the Knicks can finish the story. And I think we can. Um, it is so strong. I'm actually attending an event today that's being offered by the New York City Mayor's office, and they deliberately have allowed and told everyone it stops promptly at 7:45 so that everyone can make it to see the tip-off. That's how big this is for the game tonight. So I'm excited for game one. Don't know where I'm going to watch it, but I'm sure we'll all be tuned in to the same thing.
Thank you, Donatella. Dr. Giddings. The New York Knicks playing the San Antonio Spurs. In your part of the country, the Knicks come to Texas.
Yes.
And
yes.
man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
Yes.
The
Well,
Knicks.
it's the 80th title series, and it's the Spurs' 6th title since 2014. The Knicks' 3rd title since 1973. So that's like 53 years ago.
Wow.
So the Spurs, yes, is hosting the Knicks here in Texas. So I'm a bit torn. I'm a New Yorker at heart, but I love the Spurs as well. I love them both. But, I'm hoping New York makes it because, they're an older team. The Spurs is a younger team. They have another chance next year. So I'm hoping that New York wins. Okay. The Knicks actually had the easiest playoff run ever this year. I mean, they swept both the teams they played to get here. But
Not easy.
Uh-oh.
They were just good.
Not easy. They were just killing it.
They were good. And they're rested, right? They're rested. So, the Spurs are still, we're still playing after they were done. But, I really love Wemby also. He's so accomplished and arguably the world's best player, right? He's formidable. But, and then they have some young players that are really, really good. So Carl Anthony Towns has to show up and Bronson has to show up. Sometimes everybody has a bad night, but right now the Knicks is the story, right? So we just hope that Mike Brown comes with a game, right? He comes with some strategy. Okay, it's strategy tonight, but I'm kind of in the middle. I want New York to win, but I'm looking forward to a great series. I can't wait till tonight.
Experience versus youth. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that's exactly
Thank
it.
you.
I don't
Thank you.
know. I don't know.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna just
Thank
tell
you,
you
Dr.
right now.
Giddings. Listen, we're going to wrap on time today. There's so much to do for the Reset Awards, but I have to get Deidre's take on the New York Knicks for two
New
reasons.
York Knicks for the win, okay? For the win. And we are booing Trump. Tell him don't come. We don't need him to come. Nobody asked him to come. Don't invite himself. And no, he cannot have his name on the finals. No. I think it's going to be a Knicks game. I'm just going to tell you this. I feel like the Knicks have gone. And, sometimes when you do a job well, it makes it look easy. So that's why Dr. Giddings was like, they had an easy time. No, they just was good. They came back from 22 points. They were down 22 points, came back from being down 22 points and whopped them. Then went on to continue to beat them. So I know it wasn't easy, but they were just good at it. And I look forward to it. But I'm like Dr. Giddings said, I also cheered for the Spurs. And so I really liked seeing the youth. I liked seeing the young people. I liked seeing Wemby. I liked the spirit of him saying to the OKC champions that I am the MVP. I like the fact that he has the spirit and the faith to say things like how, our Bible says, speak those things as though they are not until they are. And he walked into that last game that they had and he said, I know we're the better team. And then he proved it. So I look forward to a good game. I am at the heart a New Yorker, so I have to go down with the Knicks. But, if the San Antonio Spurs did win 1 or 2 games, I wouldn't be mad. As long as we win the championship, I'm fine.
Right.
Okay, Deidre, I don't think it's going to be 1 or 2. I think it's going to be at least a 6 or a 7 game series. Let me tell you, they're so good. That's what I'm thinking.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong.
Could you believe this? Audience, could you believe this? You see, when I say we have some of the best minds in the country, here we got Dr. Giddings, we have our political strategist, we have Donatella from our small business world, and they're able to speak to sports. They're able to speak to the NBA. But we have to wrap early today. So, Deidre, your closing remarks. We're giving everybody a minute. Normally it's 2 minutes. We're giving everybody a minute.
Okay. My closing remarks is this. Okay. My closing remarks is this. Please come to the Reset Awards. I think it's going to be a beautiful time. I want us to get to see your faces. And also make sure you continue to vote. They're trying to strip our civil rights. They're trying to take what our ancestors worked for. It is no longer the same fight as a Dr. King fight or that. We have to show up and show out at the booths. If we have to bring a lawn chair, if you have to bring neighbors, if you have to drag every single person out, register to vote and get out to vote. Snatch our power back. Let's show them they cannot play with us. Have a good week.
Thank you. Next up, Donatella, your closing remarks.
Yes, thank you. As always, it's a pleasure to be here streaming live on the Reset Talk Show. I just want to remind people, yes, the Reset Awards is June 6th, Sunday. Scan the QR code that you see, purchase a ticket, come out and say hello to myself, the other panelists, get to know your community a little better. As for the New York Knicks, Game 1 tonight, let's take it home. And in my closing, I especially want to give a personal shout out to my local assembly members and council members who are helping me navigate the system. And I'm just excited to be here. So see you guys next week with a lot to talk about.
Thank you, Donatella. Dr. Giddings, your closing remarks.
Yes, another great show. Looking forward to seeing everyone at the Reset Awards and celebrating with everyone. I get to hang out with Deidre and Donatella, and then we can't wait. We're going to have a girls' night. So as Deidre was saying, everyone go ahead and vote, because if you don't vote, we can't get ourselves out of this situation that we're in economically. So we need to make changes. And the only way we're going to make changes is to make our voice heard. So get ready, get out and vote, make a plan, tell your friends, tell your family. And as JR would say, tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you here again next week, same time, same place, and discuss the Reset Awards.
Thank you, Dr. Giddings. You know, before we close out, we lost a giant yesterday in the R&B king, Peebo Bryson. You know, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. He has blessed us with his voice for so many years, so many hits. So, Peebo Bryson, we miss you. Now, as we come to the end of another show today, I just want to implore our audience to be kind, to be good to each other. You know, the only way we can grow is us leaning in with each other. I want to piggyback on Dr. Giddings and Deidre and Donatella about voting. Now let's talk about one of our guest speakers come Saturday. We will have none other than Yvette Clarke, the chair of the Black Caucus. Our Congresswoman Yvette Clarke will be in the building with remarks. So it's that type of night you wanna meet our Congresswoman, who is also the chair of the Black Caucus. You want a picture take with her because, hey, you never know when you're gonna need someone. So I want to thank all of you for letting us come into your homes every Wednesday morning. Please follow us on all of our online platforms. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Reset Talk Show NY on YouTube. See you on Saturday, some of you, and the rest of you, we'll see you next Wednesday, same time, same channel, same place, same platform. Enjoy your Wednesday.
The 2026 Reset Awards coming Saturday, June 6th to Dumbo, Brooklyn. Nominees, artists, and red carpet. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Sponsored in part by Dr. Giddings, Liberty Hearing Center, Metropolitan Hospital, and United Beverage Center. Scan the QR code to get tickets now.